Jimmy Toga here with another product review / how-to video for hobbyfanatic.com. Today we're taking a look at LED replacements for these, the T8 fluorescent tube. Now, LED replacements for these have been around for a while, but they've been very expensive up until now. Recently they've fallen down more into that $30 to $60 category. And this particular tube I was able to pick up from USA LEDs, that's usa-leds.com, on sale for $23.99. So I picked up a pair of them, $10 shipping, somewhere in that range. So we're going to take a look at this bulb. But first, it's important to note that every LED product that I reviewed up until now has been pretty much a drop-in replacement. Fluorescent tubes aren't. The fluorescent fixtures have a ballast, maybe a starter. Basically, the power supply for the tubes is in the fixture. LED tubes don't need that. So there's a little bit of modification required. It's pretty simple, but if you're not familiar or comfortable with basic electrical work, you might want to have an electrician come out and do that work for you. Okay? So let's take a look at how to do this. Okay, so let's take a look at how to change these out. Now, the most important thing to do is to check your instructions and to show how these are wired. This is especially important because some tubes require neutral and power on one side, but this particular tube requires neutral on one end and power on the other. So check your instructions so you know how. It's fairly simple in this case. So let's just take this apart. Okay, now we're wiring these in parallel, so I'm going to cut this set of wires off the ballast and this pair of wires off the ballast, and we'll wire them straight into neutral and positive here. Okay, I'm a little short here, so I need to get a little bit more wire. Okay, and that's it. Now, let's install our bulbs. That's it.
Okay, all done. That took maybe 5 minutes. Now let's plug it in and make sure everything is working properly. There it is. Not bad. Just that simple. Okay, now let's take a look at these bulbs and compare them to some fluorescents. Okay, so let's do a little bit of comparison with these bulbs. Now, these bulbs are rated at 20 watts each, about 1800 lumens per bulb, and 4200 Kelvin. Now, these come in 3 different temperatures. They have a warm white, which I think is around 3000 K, this one that's like 4200 K, and they have a cool white, which is rated at 6500 K. Alright? Now, these Sylvania bulbs right here, these are Sylvania fluorescent tubes. They're rated at 40 watts each. Now, I think that changes a little bit with temperature as these bulbs warm up. But right now, this pair of bulbs is reading 35 watts on my watt meter. Okay? Now, by comparison, the LEDs are reading about the same, 33 watts. So, power saving wise, there's not as substantial a savings with this type of bulb as there is compared to, say, an incandescent. So, power wise, not a real compelling number here. However, I gotta say, visually, just looking at these bulbs, they seem quite a bit brighter. It's a fairly warm, fairly nice warm light. You can kind of see it's kind of hard with the white balance of the camera, but they're fairly bright and fairly warm. Now, these are a little more directional than the fluorescent tubes. Okay, but you can see they have, they're circular, so they spread light all around in all directions. A little bit more directional, but I'd say very, very bright. So for me, really the most compelling reason to upgrade to these LED bulbs is not for the energy savings. I would say it's primarily because of all the stuff that we took out of that fixture. We took out the ballast. If there was a starter, we took that out. And for me, I've never had great luck with fluorescent tubes. These things are rated at 12,000 hours, but I'm constantly replacing these. They go dim, they start flickering, and they drive me crazy. So I'm really looking for the LED bulb, not so much for its power efficiency, as for its long-term reliability. These bulbs are rated at 50,000 hours, so you're basically talking about a lifetime bulb, assuming they never go out. Okay? One last note on these bulbs. Let's take a real close look at them. Okay, I just wanted to give you a quick close-up view on these bulbs. The build quality on them seems very good. The bulbs are very solid feeling. This is a plastic cover, but it's a nice thick plastic cover. Much more durable, I would say, than a standard fluorescent tube. You can see the surface mount LEDs, fairly large heat sink here on the back, aluminum. Power supply is presumably behind the LEDs. Okay, really nice build quality. They look to be pretty durable. All right, Hobby Fanatic fans, if you're into LED technology, you might be installing these in your garage or workplace, work shed,